IPMNation.com.
Counterpunch promo live in 3, 2, 1.
Once upon a time, they awoke to the concerted effort underway to dummy them down, to the forces working at every turn to water down human wherewithal. They stood, they rallied, they drew their line in the sand, vowing once and for all to scale their spines and mortal up. That was the day the tables turned, and the universe itself sat up and took notice.
Live from the Counterpunch Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy on IPMNation.com. If you're not going to mortal up, why not just stay in bed?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Good morning. Thank you for stopping by what is now the 431st episode. I'm so excited about today's show, but of all shows. But today, the 431st episode of the #1 rated all-natural being, and the gong heard round the world. Gong, say hello. Your snooze alarm's sworn enemy. Not to mention, if I dare say so, a great way to jumpstart your day. Radio that sparks your smart, at least we hope. Broadcast to build your strong and unleash your legend. Because, make no mistake, if you're here, you have a legend to let loose. And I'm honored to be along for the ride. We're serving up bright and early, as you know now, the best thoughts, as I think, in the history of thinking. Now, if you're heading for the shower or out the door soon, we're going to crush your cant and let's smack your critics around while we're at it. And we're priming your mind for the day ahead. And now, if you're already out and about, look at you, early riser. I'm fired up to be your virtual hitchhiker, riding shotgun as you get into your day. Either way, we're coming to you as it happens, thanks to our friends at Telestream's Wirecast, live from the Counterpunch Media Studios, and multicast live on mortalup.com, if you're watching there. Also, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, if you're picking us up there. Good morning to you as well. Now, if you've missed us live, we have our on-demand rebroadcast on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker. You get the drift. Greetings wherever you are, now that that's out of the way, wherever you are here in the Garden of the Mortals, the labyrinth of life itself, as you and I have come to know it, the ups and downs, the lefts, the rights, the pivots, the swerves, the flukes, the whims, the sheer beauty, the sheer havoc of the synchronicity and serendipity of it all. Blind alleys and cul-de-sacs, why not? Of course there is, but never a dead end unless you and I decide to tap out. Until then, let's always put our heart's highest priority top of the list. That's all I'm saying, right? And that puts us in a great position to out-brutal the brutal that is the cut and shuffle that fate can deal you on a daily basis, and to bring your own bold once and for all. So what do you say? Here's your opportunity to mortal up, to crush your cant, as I said earlier, and your critics, and simply demand that your mind's eye and your true potential live wide open. So what do you say? Let's go kick in some doors. And again, I'm so excited about this morning's show. Here's a reason why. I mean, obviously, some of the cool stuff that we're preparing for the next 26 minutes. But we'll have a really huge announcement to make tomorrow, and because we don't have all the particulars, crossing the T's and dotting the I's. We don't have everything worked out just yet, but we will by this time tomorrow. So I'm very excited. So to be honest, this is a test for me. This is a test to see if I can just sit on a secret. If I can, right? If I just don't slip and go, oh, by the way, did I mention that? Right? So I'm very excited to test myself, right? To see what the metal of my mind is like. And I'm just like a little kid at Christmas. I'm so excited about the news that I have to share with you tomorrow that I'm just like, oh man, I don't know if I can keep it in, but I gotta keep it in. So we'll more about that tomorrow. It may be later tonight. Who knows? I'm so excited. I can't even wait. But we'll get into that tomorrow morning for certain. All right, so let's jump into our Lowlifes making headlines this morning, and because I'm just. If I preoccupy myself with things that we've done, then I won't let the secret out till tomorrow. So it'll be great. All right, let's do this. Hot heads wrapped in thin skin covering brittle brains atop balsa wood spines. It's time for Lowlifes making headlines. I've got to tell you, but for this morning, just to tie it all in, I thought we'd do one more general kind of thing. Lowlifes making headlines. One more general thing. And that is to say that just bullies overall, right? The Lowlifes making headlines are those people in your life that you go, they're just always picking on me, right? These walking, talking, potted Venus flytraps with legs that are walking around doing whatever they can to malign your vision, to malign your heart's highest priority, everything they can do to keep you from putting your heart's highest priority top of the list. So the Lowlifes making headlines this morning are those bullies. Now, the flip side of that is we also have to admit that it's the bullies, external bullies, but also do you bully yourself? Do you get to the point where you just browbeat yourself? Do you subject yourself to binge thinking? And what would your life be like if you didn't binge think? If you weren't haunted by the visions in the backwaters of your brain? Look, as far as I'm concerned, your all natural being is begging you to draw your line in the sand and say enough of your critics, external or internal. And what are we going to do about that? What are we going to do about that? And that's why each and every morning we're here to maybe we're going to jump on. We're going to, like your all-natural being, we're going to beg you once again to draw that line in the sand and just to have had enough with your critics, both external and internal. All right, what are we supposed to do? Let's do this. We'll be right back.
All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy. Radio for the rare breed.
A special thanks again to my friend Doug Harmon, Radio for the Rare Breed. Now, we were talking this morning, and the term that comes to mind when we talk about being haunted by the backwaters of our brain, hungry ghosts. Now, it's a term that, honestly, I borrowed from a Canadian physician, Gabor Mate. And so I thought for the 60-second Stoic this morning, although I'm supposed to play the little riff, we're into it now, so let's just do it. But for the 60-second Stoic this morning, I thought I would read a quote that I came across of his that I've always, since the day I read this quote, I've always believed it. And it's been kind of like a guiding post for me in terms of thinking out or planning out how my own mind operates. And his quote says, anything that is wrong, quotes, anything that is wrong with you began as a survival mechanism in childhood. Now, I don't want to go all Don Henley on you in that song about I want to grab your inner child and kick its little ass. I'm not talking about that. But if we look at some of the things that we had to use as survival mechanisms, when we first realized, I said yesterday in a post, right, are you longing for the you used to be? Are you longing to go on a play date? Are you longing for quality time? Are you longing to go on a date night, if you will, with the you that is the all-natural being? that still small whisper within you. And all Dr. Mattei is saying is that anything that is wrong with you is a leftover defense, right? It's what you needed to do to counteract the chop block of fate when you were little. But maybe we were too small to realize what was happening to us. So in that particular moment in all of time, we did the best we could so that the things that little idiosyncrasies, maybe some of the things that we do day in and day out now, are leftover vestiges, as he calls them in the title of his book, and I've always used this term, hungry ghosts. Ghosts of the past. But I'll say to you, not unlike that movie, Christmas Carol with Bill Murray, right? One of the ones was with Bill Murray, but you know what I'm trying to say here. But one of the things is you can have ghosts of the past, ghosts of the future. So hungry ghosts, anything that pulls you away from this particular moment in all of time, that's the hungry ghost. Whether you're going backwards or you're going forwards, it's still a carrot at the end of the stick. Whether it's trauma or whether it's something that you're planning for the future. Hungry ghost calling you out of this particular moment in all of time. What is your all-natural being doing? Again, begging you to draw the line in the sand and go, no, I'm going to magnify this moment. I'm going to stay right here. This is where the fingerprints of providence are. This is where the universe is expecting, like a cognitive cairn, when those rocks are all stepped up to show you the path. This is where the universe is saying, oh, no, great. You got to hang right here to pay attention to what's going on in this particular moment in all of time. That's how you can turn out to be fate's nemesis as well. All right, let's go. Yeah, so I blew that whole 60-second stoic thing, so my apologies. Let's go ahead and hop over in the feed and say good morning to our friends hanging out. Let me even see where there you go. Thank you all so very much. Lee, good morning. Hurt people, especially themselves. Good morning, Brian. Lee, thank you very much. I think you're absolutely right. Thank you for joining us this morning here in All Natural Being and over in the feed. Let me thank you very much. It is warming up where I am, so we're pretty excited about that this morning. Also, I wanted to let you know that one of the things that we were working on in terms of hungry ghosts is that what is it in this particular moment, right, that calls you outside of this moment, right? Because Eckhart Tolle does the book Magnifying the Now, or the Power of Now, I think he calls it. I got it here somewhere, the Power of Now, right? So here, as I said before, the fingerprints of providence, all the tips, the tricks, the techniques, everything that you're to uncover right now in this particular moment in all of time. That's what the universe has laid at your feet, and you and I have to decide, will we buy in? Will we be haunted by these hungry ghosts, and will they pull us outside of this moment? That's what we need to be able to figure out. All right, let's do this. As always, don't forget you can call us 833-MIND-UPS. I'll do the math for you, 833-646-3877. If you can call us, it's toll free. Don't forget. Also, you're welcome to text us at that same number. You're also able to text us at that number, and that will come right into the studio as well. So if you get a chance and you're up and about this morning, you want to give us a call, 833-MIND-UPS. Let me do this. If you're heading out the door, this little QR code we've talked about before, the QR code is set up so that if you're like, oh yeah, I'm here hanging out on the computer, but I'm going to hit the road here any minute. So what we can do is go, oh great, I'll just hit this little QR code and it'll pull the show right up on your phone. You'll be taken right to the live radio feed so that you can take us with you wherever you're going to go, whether it's to the gym, the cup holder, this or that. You get where I'm going with that. All right, so let's do this. What do we got next this morning? We've got, let's jump right in here. We have a quick station break, and then when we come back, we're going to be going into crimes of mind. We'll be right back.
You're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy, because it's never too late to take your life back.
All right. It's never too late to take your life back. As you know, I believe that your brain can be hijacked if you're not happy, if you're not thrilled, if you're not. A part of it is the vestiges, as Dr. Mattei said, left over from how you learned very early on to defend yourself. Shakespeare would call them slings and arrows, but how you learned to defend yourself from that particular moment and what you were going to do as you move forward in life. right? So this morning, when we get ready for Crimes of Mind, well, let's just do it. Let's just jump into Crimes of Mind, and we will be right with it. So what is that one? No, that's that one. Oh, we'll do. Ever wonder if you're your own worst enemy? Waving the white flag of surrender whenever confronted by the binge thinking ricocheting around your own brain? Well, we call that the crimes of mind. The crimes of mind. And this morning, the crime of mind that we're talking about is ignoring that inner whisper, the still small voice, ignoring that part of you that's giving you all the information, giving you everything you need to be, it's almost like you have a visual acuity, right? Where you go into the eye doctor and they say, oh, well, you have 20/20 vision, or you have this vision or that vision, right? Whatever it may be. But how about acuity, like an auditory acuity, to be able to hear what your voice, that inner voice, is saying in this particular moment, in all of time? And a crime of mind is when we turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to that still small voice. And why, when we talk about 20-minute victories, right? 1/72nd of your day, what can you do for 20 minutes to move yourself into the best position to put your heart's highest priority top of the list, to out-brutal the brutal? There was a song on Spotify this morning, The Monster You Made Me. Dr. Matei's quote about the things that are, as he says it, the things that people say that you believe are wrong with you are leftover defense mechanisms, right? So maybe that still small voice, in conjunction with the cognitive care and the universe itself, is saying, look, what about this? Some call it instinct, some call it intuition, gut feel, right? And I heard another thing on Spotify this morning, which maybe I shouldn't listen to some of these things right out, because it almost made a Lowlifes making headlines where it says, if you don't have a particular goal, then you're never going to achieve anything. And I'm here to say I don't believe that's true. Following up on yesterday, there are plenty of times throughout the day to have goals, plenty of times. Oh, good morning. Let me say hello to the people over on YouTube and also in Twitter. It's very nice. It's very nice to have you with us. We're still working out, yes, some of the ability to multicast and also follow the feed in the chat room at ipmnation.com. So we'll be doing that very shortly as well. We're talking this morning about crimes of mind, and that it is a crime to turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to your own inner voice, right? To turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to the things that might very well be your heart's highest priority, and putting it on top of the list, right? In just enough time to out-brutal the brutal, as we say in the opening, that is the cut and shuffle that fate can deal you. So let me ask you, good morning, Jen. Thank you so very much for joining us this morning at All Natural Being. Let me ask you, we're talking about crimes of mind. You ever been guilty of turning a blind eye or a deaf ear? Ever been guilty of ignoring your own inner voice? And what if it's that one voice? What if we're looking for that life preserver? What if we're looking for that hand? What if we're looking just for a path out of the fog? Well, what if that path is your still small voice? What if that inner whisper, good morning to you, what if that inner whisper is set up to be able to say, psst, look over here. Here's what the universe is trying to lay out for you. Psst, here's why this happened. Psst, here's why that happened. Here's how you're supposed to deal with it in this particular moment. No goals, right? No carrots at the end of the stick. No hungry ghost either in your past or in your future. Man, it's all kind of coming together. It's all kind of tied together this morning, isn't it? But no hungry ghosts calling you out of this particular moment in all of time. No shoulds, no goals, no yonders, as Sandberg says. No yonders, but this particular moment in all of time. Jen says, not at all. I'm a Scorpio. I have tons of emotions and can't hold them in. I speak my mind. Very nice. Well, I know this is just an absolutely selfless, if not selfish, but selfless plug. Jen, if you want to call and tell us some of that, we'd love to hear from you. 833-MIND-UPS, 833-646-3877. Well, it is a toll-free call, just so you know. So if you want to give us a holler, we would love to hear them. Brother Wallman, good morning. Dallas, good morning to you as well. Thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. What we're talking about, to pull it all in if you're just joining us, is this concept of your all natural being is begging you to draw a line in the sand. Your all natural being is begging you to be the badass that you are. Right? To stop ignoring your inner voice, to stop ignoring that whisper, and prepare to out-brutal the brutal come what may. And I didn't want to get into it. I'm not going to get into it because I said I wouldn't. I just said I wouldn't. So, but let me say this. There's a part of me, and not, anthropomorphically to be able to say, oh, I'm assessing this to the universe. The universe has targeted me as an individual. But my unique strand of DNA has been targeted. It's been bullied, right? The unique strand of DNA set aside to say, all right, how is this DNA going to handle the slings and arrows we mentioned earlier? How is he going to handle a golf ball sized brain tumor? How are they going to handle any of the different things? As Jen said, the different things that pop up in and out, right? She says she's unable to hold them in. How is this particular strand of DNA going to be able to handle a golf ball sized brain tumor and all of the things that have gone south as a part of the aftermath, if you will, of that surgery? So for me, when I said this morning in Lowlifes making headlines, no more bullies, both exterior and interior. And the question is, are we bullying ourselves by buying into this crime of mind? Do we bully ourselves when we ignore that still small voice? When we ignore our intuition, when we ignore our instinct, when we ignore those gut feelings? And I'm here to say, yes, I believe we are bullying ourselves. So let's just knock it off, right? What did I say? Well, let's do this. We'll jump to the early morning meme here, and then we'll be able to tie this all together. So stand by. We want the perfect way to jumpstart your brain, to prime your mind, to hone your heart and your head. Here's today's early morning meme. Welcome to Your Story Told Live. Wirecast is the award-winning production software for streaming and recording high-quality live video. Transform your computer into a television studio, switching between live camera inputs while mixing in your movies, music, audio, and slides for that creatively professional look and feel. Wirecast, because if you've got a powerful message, it deserves to be told live. Enough. It's time to play offense. That's at least what we attempted to do with that little bit right there. But clearly, wow, wasn't that something? That didn't work at all. All right. But this morning's early morning meme, we're talking about what it takes to say enough. It's time to play offense. It's time to go ahead and do what you must do in order to put your heart's highest priority top of the list, because no one else is going to do it for you. And I think your all-natural being, I think the stress that we suffer in life is because your all-natural being is begging you to draw the line in the sand. It is begging you to say enough already. No more. No more. And because we ignore that, I think there's a PTSD to that. I think there is a post-traumatic stress disorder for ignoring that still small voice. Jen says, sometimes it gets me in trouble, though. I would agree. I'm there with you. And as I get older, I'm really trying hard to slow down and think how the other person is going to react before I thoroughly lay it down for them, the truth that they can't handle. Some woozies tend to shut down and get automatically defensive instead of listening. Woozies, I like that. Or you know what else they could do, Jen? If you're like any of the people that I know that fall into that category, they just unfriend you on Facebook, right? So there you go. And let me just use this as an opportunity to say thank you very much for those of you that have chosen to unfriend me on Facebook. I super, super appreciate it, and it puts me in the perfect position to go ahead and accept more friend requests that I get. So thank you so very much for the people that have headed for the door, looking for the exit. They heard someone scream fire and they go, oh, I am out of here. Thank you for that, because I one or two or three maybe sometimes a day, I can get new friends in, friends that I technically dig. I got to tell you, friends that I dig more than I did you. So thank you so much for heading for the door. I think Jen would call them woozies. I think Jen would call them woozies. All right, Robin Slim, it was my absolute pleasure. Thank you joining us on Twitter this morning. It was my pleasure to hang out on your show. I was very excited to do it. And I have to tell you, I learned a lot by that, or I learned a lot hanging out with you guys. The amount of work and effort that goes in to you all doing this is really something else. So thank you so very much for having me. And as I said, I learned a ton from you guys, so it was my pleasure. All right, so we're talking this morning enough already. It's time for you to play offense. It's time for you to channel your all-natural being and go, you know what? I've had about enough of being smacked around by fate. I've had enough with the chop block. I've had enough about life trying, right? Because life itself, right, or at least fate itself, is all over you having amnesia because it's scared to death of you remembering who you ultimately are, right? Because if you remember who you ultimately are, then you know the natural resources, the grit, the agility, the stamina. You know the things you already call with. Love it, Brian. Look to the positive. Thank you very much, Jen. I appreciate it. And good morning to Jennifer as well. Jennifer, thanks for getting up bright and early and joining us here at all. And there's a time change too, or I think over the weekend there was a time change. Thank you so very much. As we get ready to get out of here, remember, it is a crime of mind. At least that's how I see it. A crime of mind to ignore your inner badass, to ignore that still small voice, to ignore your instinct, to ignore your intuition. And all I'm simply saying is that is the merging of synchronicity, serendipity, chance, all these different things. That's what the universe presents, and it dovetails when you listen to that still small voice, right? So it's like going, oh, no, maybe like a dance, a square dance where you put your arm out. Well, synchronicity is putting its arm out, and all it's saying is, look, I'm ready to go. I'll take you as a partner. Let's do this. All you do, and then your still small voice, if you listen to it, goes, yeah, sure, why not? Jump in. Let's do it. I think that's the way life works. Don't listen to the people tell you that it works otherwise. Jen says, unfriend me. Great. I have room for better friends. Jen, that's what I couldn't agree with you more. You know what I mean? Well, so people go, oh, well, I'll just unfriend him. Right? I've had family members. They're mostly extended family members, but right? I've had extended family members unfriend me, and I go, cool. You know what? I never like talking to you at parties anyways, right? So it'll not any of the parties in upstate New York, and not any. I just backed myself right into that one. So if you think I'm talking about you, yeah, I'm not, right? But other extended family members, it just leaves me more space to have other people come on, and I'm loving it. So that's that. All right, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get out of here. We'll be back tomorrow morning, bright and early. Always listen to your gut. Brother Wallman, I absolutely agree. Always listen to your gut. And don't forget, we need to have you come on sometime and talk about some recipes and some of the other things that you're doing. And I'd love to talk about Antarctica as well. There's so many things we could talk about. So you got to give me a call sometime, and we'll go ahead and set that up. Jennifer, good morning to you as well. It's funny, Jennifer, when I saw that you were up this bright and early, I know you're having a cup of coffee. So thanks for the emoji. I super appreciate it. All right, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get out of here. Don't forget, big news tomorrow morning. Big. And yes, I just proved I could make it 28 minutes without letting the cat out of the bag, without, right, betraying a secret. But huge news, quite possibly the biggest news that I've had in 430 some odd episodes now. But that's coming tomorrow morning, which will be what? Oh, it'll be Wednesday morning. So we're looking forward to that as well. All right, I want to do this because we get a lot of questions. Let me do this real quick, and we'll come back right before we get out of here. Welcome to Your Story Told Live. Wirecast is the award-winning production software for streaming and recording high-quality live video. Transform your computer into a television studio, switching between live camera inputs while mixing in your movies, music, audio, and slides for that creatively professional look and feel. Wirecast, because if you've got a powerful message, it deserves to be told live. deserves to be told live. That's all I'm saying, right? And that's the software. When people go, how do you do that? How many people are in the studio? How do you do this? How do you do that? It's why we always thank our good friends at Telestream's Wirecast for giving us the ability to do this. All right, we're going to go ahead and jump out of here. Have an absolutely fantastic day. Big news tomorrow morning. I'll fill you in all of that. Thank you for getting up. Thank you for making us a part of your morning ritual. We will see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
You've been listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.
IPMNation.com.